Okay, we're back on there. All right, yeah, I guess so. Okay, hopefully I have enough memory pack or whatever left to talk about this shit here. It was about the deadbeat dad issue. Wow. I used to be called the deadbeat dad, you know. I've heard like, you abandon your kids and shit like that. And none of this is true. It's this is going to be a good one here. I gotta put this fucking camera close. Wow. Jesus fucking Christ, it's gonna be a great show. I just can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. Now here's something really interesting here. Hello, I am focused. Autofocus, motherfucker. Come on, Canon. Get it right. Jesus, there we go. It's that STM silent type motor lens. So anyway, yeah, man, I grew up, I did not meet my biological father, my dad, until I was like 15 years old. I think I was in the 10th grade in high school when I met him. He's Ethiopian, you know, from Africa. Africa. You know, my mom, she's Black American. So I'm raised with my mom. I grew up. I you know, pretty much figure I have a dad. I don't know where he is. All this shit. So I'm sold all these stories throughout my childhood that, you know, he abandoned us and he don't care, all this shit or whatever. And now fast forward, whatever, 20, 30 years in the future or whatever, and I might be hearing the same rumors or whispers about myself. You know, oh, he abandoned his kids, he's this, that. No, my kids do not live in the house with me, and I'm divorced. I have been for about almost 10 years now, I believe. I think 2000 and, the fuck was it, 8 or 9 or some shit like that, I don't know. But quite some time ago. I still have daily contact with my kids, or I can at least call them when I need, and they come and visit me fucking once or twice a year or something like that. And they're pretty much on their way to being full-grown adults now, right? But, you know, one thing that really fucking grinds my gears is that I told my ex-wife, Geneva, my first ex-wife, it was that I was like, look, I grew up without a father, and it's very important to me that I have more than one child, and that I do not have, you know, I need to be in their life. What the fuck? So this was my thing, the thing dangled on the string that was used to control me, one of my own weaknesses. One thing that narcissists will do, they'll probe for your weaknesses and they'll use them as thumb screws to turn on you to get their way with you, right? So anybody who knows me personally knows I'm very empathic. I'm very putting everyone's needs above my own. You know, am I the kind of person that would abandon people? Come on, really? Really? What's my track record on that? Please tell me that. You know? So it's like, you know, I got this smear campaign going about, you know, your dad abandoned you, don't care, shit like that. And I'm hearing the same thing from my very own mother about my father. You know, and there's nothing, there's apples to apples, I'm just comparing shit here. And I'm like, wow, she talks just like her. They're on that same shit. The same, the same daddy ain't shit kick or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, wow, just fucking wow. Think of all the fucking time invested in all the shit you've done, and it's, you know what I'm saying? It's amazing. It's really fucking amazing, you know, and it hits you right there that someone would even accuse you of that, but they know that's going to hurt you, you know what I'm saying? Why would they falsify reality? What do they have to gain by making me the bad guy? Why would they want to make themselves the hero in the story? Or why would they want to make themselves the martyr in the story? I'm talking about my mom and Geneva here. It's like, why? What's the purpose of, why do you want to present yourself in that light as the goody two-shoes do-gooder who saved you from, you know, your evil daddy who don't care or some shit like that? You know, that's bullshit. You know, I don't like this one bit, if you can't tell. You know, very. It's taken a lot to just be peaceful about it all. To be honest with you, it's some shit that hurts. You know, my kids or me, but unfortunately, people, these these two women here, and many others, you know, they don't realize that children are autonomous, myself included. We're all autonomous beings. Just because we came from your body doesn't mean that you own us like a fucking turd in the toilet. I mean, that's bullshit. You know, everyone has a brain and their own heart, and they can think for themselves. But I think this is one thing that mothers, probably all over the world, might latch onto, that my children are my property, they belong to me. And I'm the first one to tell you, no, they don't. You don't own life. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work like that. Just because you give birth to someone that doesn't mean they have to stay in contact with you all their life. That doesn't mean you can use them as some battery pack to deplete for energy anytime you please. You know, what the fuck? I mean, why are they, it's almost like saying like, hey, you robot, I created you to serve me. That's pretty much what a lot of people are doing with children. That's what, you know, it's like, what? How? I don't understand how society even allows this, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you're telling someone they're not autonomous, basically. You're telling them that they're a drone, that they're just like you, I created you to serve me on some shit like that, and that's unacceptable to me. I can't process it, I can't accept it, and I can't be around anyone that thinks that way, that thinks that people are subhuman or are not, can't think for themselves, or that they're owned. You know, what the fuck? What's, hey, you can believe that or whatever, in whatever belief system or whatever part of the world you want to believe in, but I don't buy into that shit. So I'm not compatible with anybody who thinks that way, that thinks they own life. Fuck that shit. You don't. You know, if someone thinks they own your life, then they have no problem taking yours, right? You know what I'm saying? This is like people that put down dogs that bite or whatever, or shit like that. I'm like, whoa, you know, what gives you the right? What the fuck? Yeah, I just, it's one of the reasons why I don't really hardly eat much meat anyway. I'm like, wow, why you gonna cut that chicken's throat off just so I could have a fucking sandwich? I mean, fuck, I'd rather just not have the sandwich. It's really not that important to me, you know, like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you gonna stop a beating heart like that? I don't fucking get it. And why do you want to control someone else's brain that ain't yours? I think I have enough work. I have enough workload and enough shit on my head and enough notepads and computers and hard drives that shit filled up that I can barely control everything in my own head. Do you really honestly think that I have the time or energy to try and control other people's minds? What the fuck? You know? I don't have a diamond mine or something where like motherfuckers can like, you go work, or, you know, I can't do that shit. Saying there's no benefit for me doing the mind control shit. You know, that's bullshit. That's TV movies or whatever, you know. So it's like, god damn, people just confuse me. They confuse me on that shit. They lost me with that. NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. It will have you binge watching videos like this. It'll have you listening to other people explain their relationship problems, their childhood problems. It requires a lot of listening to do a lot of the healing that's necessary. It requires a lot of reading, but more than likely, it just requires you, at least in my case, you have to hear the opinions of about 20 or 30 other people who've gone through like the same shit, but they put it into different words or whatever. You know, this transnational everything. It's like, once you look out there for the information, it's there, and you'll be like, oh shit, I'm not alone, or that's happening to me too, or that person, they're gaslighting me, or they're doing a smear campaign. You learn all the terminologies and all the shit that makes people tick, and why their behaviors don't match up with their actions and their words, and then you start to put the picture together, and you're like, oh, wow, these motherfuckers are crazy. How do I deal with them or not deal with them, or how do I escape from them is the question, you know? Yeah, man, fuck. So that's really it, man. You gotta escape from the people, ultimately, if you're gonna grow any bigger. You know what I'm saying? This little tree right here, if I put another one right next to it, it's going to stop growing, because it's gonna reach out and say, hey man, I'm over here, I need my space here. And it might grow more vertically or whatever, but it's not gonna grow laterally sideways. Because it's got everything has boundaries. The tree will have a boundary or whatever. So if someone's too close to you and they're touching you and they're all up on you and you're with these kind of abusive people, they're going to stunt your growth. You could have been this much bigger, but instead you're only this big because you choose to hang around people that are depleting your energy and your brain power and whatever. You need that brain power for work, school, play, anything, just not trying to figure out some other person's shit. There's not enough hours in the day to have abusive people in your life. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you take any of these, like, even phone calls from per person with NPD or whatever, it's not going to go well because it's going to burn up your time. It's going to be a circular conversation. They're not really listening to you. They just want someone to blab to. Just like I'm talking to the camera right now, they want to do this to you. But the difference is you have the option of pausing or exiting this video at any time without being discourteous. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, that's not it. They just want you on the horn. They want to consume the hours of your life. Just like that bird in the cage example from like a previous video I mentioned. So that's some scary shit, you know? It's like, wow, you just want to, you're not happy with your life, you're slowly dying, so you just want to interrupt my life since you're not doing anything. Wow. I don't like that. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit, like Rico, boy. Okay, so anything else on here for the night? Well, no, I think there's probably it for tonight. I have some more pages I'll go on to, but I want to wrap it up and leave it on that good note. By the way, I'm Shimmy. Thank you for listening to me, for hearing me out. This is all part of my healing process. The therapy is good for me. Talking out loud, getting my thoughts off my head is good for me. So thank you for your time if you watched the video this far, and more good shit on the way. If you have been abused by someone, narcissistically abused, someone's behaviors and actions and words don't match up, they tell you one thing but their behaviors are just fucking weird, I'll tell you this as a hint before I go tonight. Okay, you're not going to know these people are fucking narcissists until it takes a while, like probably 6 months or more, they say. I would say in some cases it might take years, in some cases decades. Really, it's kind of good. Some people are really good at masking it through the years or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But eventually all of their masks will crack, okay, eventually. But usually most people within about 6 months or so.